What's going on, people? Welcome back to another video. I'm going to keep this one short and sweet because I know a lot of you have maybe gone and bought a set of full heated leathers, and I'm going to show you how to wire them up in this video to a normal Mark 6. The STs come with a wiring loom and you can plug them straight in, but any other Mark 6 doesn't, and obviously you've got to wire them up yourself, and this took me a while to figure out how to get them to work, so I'm going to show you how to wire them up right now. So everything's going to be done under the glove box, so you're going to want to get that out first. So we're going to have to ignore my wiring mess, but I can promise you it's going to get a lot easier. You're going to want to start from the engine bay. We have two wires coming off the positive terminal on the battery going into a 10 amp fuse, and then two wires going through to the cab. Two wires that come into the cab, obviously you are going to want to fuse them, kind of just like a sub. It helps if you've got a sub. There's a up to the right hand side, there's a hole. Wherever you want to puncture a hole through to get through to the glove box is wherever you want to do it. You want to do two separate ones. I use 17 amp wire because both the seats are 10 amp each. So obviously I've done two wires, a 17 amp, however you'd like to do it. And obviously I've fused it with a 10 amp fuse. Like I say, it's pretty much like a sub, that's why you'd want to fuse it. Anyway, when you get into the glove box, the wire will come through and you're going to want to get a relay. This is a 40 amp 4-prong relay, and obviously it will show you where to do everything. So this is the positive wire that comes off from the engine bay. You're then going to want to have a ground and an ignition, right? So you're going to want to ground it. There's a couple of places up here. There's a if I show you here, there's one there, there's one there. Wherever you want to ground it to, obviously you're going to have to do this twice. So there's two relays. There's one there, and I've got another one somewhere else. Two relays. And then you're going to want to find an ignition fuse. If you look at my fuse box, these are some of the ignition fuses, if that helps. The best way to do it is to use a multimeter. So if you're going to want to test to try and find an ignition fuse yourself. So obviously if you know how to do it, you know how to do it. You just want to try and find one that's got voltage when the ignition's on, and then you turn the ignition off, and if it shows 0 at the end, that's an ignition fuse. And obviously if it's still got 12 volt coming through it, then that's not an ignition fuse, it's permanent live. So that's the ignition anyway. And then the final wire is the one power wire that's coming to under your seat. So obviously I've led it all the way down the side here, and it will come all the way to underneath the seat. So let me show you underneath the seat. So this might look a little confusing to start off with. We're going to ignore this wire further back here because that's just a ground wire. So that wire is just a ground. If you follow off the block connector, you'll see a cable that goes all the way to this switch and then back up into the heater. So somewhere along from where this block connector is, you're going to want to splice into it, which is where I've got the purple wire. The purple wire is a positive, so you're going to want to splice into that and then take it to that last thing on the relay. And the other wire, that one there, is the ground wire. So what I've done is I've brought that under the carpet, under that center console. So obviously I've taken off the center console to get to that, but you can do anywhere else. So I did make this mistake myself. If you do it after the switch, so when it comes back, it will see a loop back to itself. You'll see where I've gone somewhere around there, right? Then you'll have a permanent heated seat. So you want to do it before the switch, which is somewhere between where that block connector is and there. I hope that was simple enough for you. I'll try to kind of dull it down. I'm going to put a diagram up on the screen right now of how you're going to want to. You can screenshot it if you'd like, of how you are going to wire it up. That's the diagram that I used. But it's pretty much simple. You bring one positive wire to the relay, you then ground that relay and ignition it, and then the last wire is your positive wire that goes to under the seat, and obviously you want to do it before that switch, because if you do it after the switch, you can have a permanent heated seat, and I figured that out the hard way. So if all's gone well, then you should be able to click the switch, and this is probably going to be a daft thing, right? But I didn't know which way the button was for the heated seats, because if you haven't got a car with heated seats and they don't work, it's going to be hard to figure out which way it is. So on the seat, here's the switch. In is off and out is on. Don't get me wrong, they're not going to work perfectly, and they're not going to be like any modern heated seats. They will be on and off.
Right, I do apologise, my camera cut out right there, so I don't know what went on with that. But they are going to be on and off. They'll go red hot and then they'll cool down again, and then they'll get red hot and cool down over and over again. That seems to just be how they work. If you get any modern car and you whack it on full blast, it will never stay on full blast for long. It's just because they've not got like a hot and cold button, so you can't turn it up between settings, it's just on or off. So that's how they're going to work anyway. So thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.